I'm Carol Dillon. I live here in Buxton and I'm a native. I was born in 1928 during the Depression, and I've seen many things happen to our island. Now, what really irritates me and hurts my feelings too, we're honest, hard-working people. None of us are rich. We grew up poor. What businesses we have? We started from scratch, borrowing money. And the Park Service came here in the 50s. I actually heard personally at meetings Conrad Worth tell us they would never stop beach driving, they would never stop commercial fishing, they would maintain our dunes and help us that way, they would pay market prices for our land. All lies. They did not pay market prices for land. They took 100 acres of my mother's land and offered high wooded land now, high ground with trees. $15 an acre they offered her. They maintained the dunes originally, but when so much erosion came in the area, well, the entire beach, they quit maintaining the dunes and adopted a do-nothing policy. Now, when I say that I heard Conrad Worth say all these things about not closing the beach, not only did I hear him say it, it was published in the newspaper. Years later, Conrad Worth came out in the same newspaper and said that he wanted the government to fulfill his promises because they had been breaking them one right after another. I'd like to talk about the beach closure that happened last year and the economic impact it has had. A lot of our businesses have gone bankrupt. A lot of businesses will go bankrupt. This closure was ordered by a federal judge, Judge Boyle, because of birds. The Audubon Society sued the Park Service because the Park Service did not have a management policy in place. In the beginning, in the 50s, the Park Service allowed the Navy to go up to the Phipps Clubhouse, which is about 1.5 miles north of my motel, cut through this 12 to 15-foot dune, go out on the beach, the ocean, and take millions of cubic yards of sand to fill in a swamp where they built the Navy housing. This started the erosion. After that, we lost 100 feet of beach a year, until right now, the Park Service does not own any beach back of my motel, none. The only good thing that Park Service has ever done, and I emphasize the only good thing, they took portions of beach where no one could develop. They left land next to the villages, some of it, for us to have motels and beach houses and so forth, and to sell it if you wanted to. That's the only good thing. But it has been a blight to Hatteras Island. They have lied to us. They have hurt our economy. But the biggest way they've hurt our economy is closing our beach. Now, if someone in power does not come along and help us, there will be no businesses, and I mean no businesses on Hatteras Island in less than 5 years. The other thing that is very, very distressing to me is, in order to keep these birds in their nest or to nest, and I want to preface this as one thing. If Park Service did not take areas and fence them off, these birds would not nest in these areas where predators could get to them. I want to emphasize, birds have more sense than these people, more sense than Park Service. And let me emphasize again, if they would quit fencing it off, the birds wouldn't nest there. They'd go where it would be safe. For example, the little islands in Hatteras Inlet. I mean, lots of birds are there. Nobody's bothering them. And there are no animals, no predators. But Park Service has killed and trapped thousands, now let me repeat that, thousands of animals to keep just one bird nest. That's the year they started doing all this. They only found one bird nest of piping plovers. I myself lost my cat last year. The Park Service picked it up, said it was a half a mile north of my motel. I know that's a lie because my pet cat does not go a half a mile. For 3 days, I didn't know where my cat was. Someone happened to mention, well, maybe it's in the pound. Well, it was. It was in the pound. They had started euthanizing my cat. When I went to get it, it took me 3 days to take the drugs out of that cat. I did get angry. I'm still angry. I called Park Service and I said to them, if you ever touch my cat again, I'm starting World War III. And if you want to verify this, you can talk to Park Service. I'm still angry, and I know my blood pressure is getting high over that, but look at the other people who's lost their dogs and lost their cats, pet cats I'm talking about, that live near Park Service property. Their animals just disappeared. But there's one thing, and we printed out a picture today of a Park Service shooting a fox on the beach. It's one thing to shoot something and kill it immediately, but what about all the animals they have trapped to leave there to suffer before they died? This is it's just unthinkable. They actually killed over I don't know the exact number, but hundreds of geese up at Pea Island. They gassed them. Why? Now let me tell you, people, if they can do it to us, they can do it to you. And not only can they stop beaches, but they can close parks, they can close roads. This is a trend that it can happen to you. So just don't think that poor Hatteras Island, poor people on Hatteras Island are the only ones that the government can come in, or a federal judge. They've got a lot of power, more power than a lot of people or a lot of persons. We need somebody with some sense, with some power, to stop this nonsense. It's idiotic to ruin the economy of the island, and I think the first year it was one bird nest. I think they saved one bird. And like I repeated, let me repeat, these birds have got more sense than people. They wouldn't nest there if there were any reason to, but even if one bird was lost, and this is the furthest south that this piping plover is endangered. But I don't care if it is endangered. To ruin the economy for one bird, now let me tell you, people, does that make any sense to anybody? This is not the American way for the people here on Hatteras Island to have to put up with someone like Park Service. We're supposed to be a government of the people instead of a government for the Audubon Society. And a lot of you Audubon people, I don't think you realize what you're supporting. I don't think you're supporting a government that will kill hundreds, thousands of animals to save one bird. I don't think any sensible person should support something like this. So somebody help us. We need help badly. I don't know what else to say.